Thanks very much indeed. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really sorry that I missed just the very beginning of this evening. And I was really keen to do this when Charlotte Leslie, MP, asked me if I would. I wondered, first of all, why I was being asked to do something that was relating to boxing, because I'm not a sports minister. I'm a minister in the Home Office and in the MOJ. And when Charlotte started to tell me about it and to tell me about this film and what this film was about and the story that it told, I immediately understood and saw the links. Steve was saying in his remarks that he was reminding us about what inspired him to be interested in boxing, and he mentioned Frank Bruno. And a few weeks ago, some of you may have seen Frank Bruno interviewed by Piers Morgan and talking about his life story and how he'd started off as a young guy and got into all sorts of trouble and then got into boxing, and how that had got him back onto the straight and narrow. And then they showed the film of him winning his title fight. I'm trying to remember what year it was, but it was about 2 decades ago, must have been, winning his title fight at Wembley, and I was reflecting on the fact that I was there. So the other reason that I'm keen to be here this evening is because I'm not just a minister who's been invited here because I happen to be responsible for crime policy and police. I'm here because I like boxing, and that was a double reason to be here. You know, I get irritated a lot of the time at some of the negative coverage that there is about boxing, and when it comes up on the telly and when these self-appointed people come up to tell us what's wrong with the sport. I wish that there could be more focus on what's very right about a sport that is not just popular, and that's a good enough reason, it seems to me, to want to continue with an historic sport, but also has such a positive role to play. Not just a positive role to play for those that either box professionally or as amateurs for sporting success, but because of the wider role that it has and that we've heard about this evening. And that's why I guess I was invited to speak about it, because incredibly powerful stories were told about the role that boxing clubs can give in local communities to divert young people away from what might otherwise get themselves into real difficulty and trouble. The riots were mentioned, and the disciplines and the focus which any sport gives are, I think, a fantastic inspiration and an example to young people, but no more so than in boxing, which requires that particular focus and discipline and hard work and courage too, and something that is completely universally available to anyone who wants to try it, provided that the facilities are there. And that seemed to me to be the important message of this film, and one that I've got and taken away. Now, I'm glad that Sport England is providing the support for the sport. That's great. And from the point of view of some of the work that the government's doing in providing funding, there's things like Positive Futures and the Communities Against Crime Innovation Fund, and those have been supporting local community-based projects which have involved boxing as well. So that's really good. But the people that will have to be persuaded in future actually aren't necessarily ministers. They are people who are locally elected politicians, the new police and crime commissioners that are coming along, people in local communities who need to understand the importance of crime prevention. It's not just about crime enforcement. It's not just about dealing with crime when it happens. When it happens, something's gone wrong already. It's actually about making sure that young people can be diverted from crime, that they have positive opportunities and that there are things there for them. So it seems to me that there is a real role here for boxing clubs, not just as a good in themselves, but in terms of what they tell us about the opportunities that they can give to young people to succeed in life. And I just want to say in conclusion that I was incredibly inspired by the stories that we heard and by what people were saying about their experiences, either of working with boxers and clubs or boxing themselves. And so I just want to say this in conclusion, that we're just about something over 50 days away from the beginning of the Olympics now. And it's it's a real privilege to hear Natasha speak, and I just want to say good luck in that competition. It's an incredible privilege. I'm sure to be chosen to represent your country, and to be part of Team GB, and it must be a very exciting, maybe a bit awe-inspiring time for you. But I think everybody here will be rooting for you. I think the whole country is rooting for Team GB. And I tell you what, I just want to say this, quite frankly, you've made me proud just by being here. And that's before the Olympics even starts. So thanks very much indeed.